Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movies with Mia. If you're new to the channel, hi! I'm Mia Tiffany, and here we are watching the greatest classic films throughout history. Today, we are continuing our MWM Christmas series by watching the film It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Now, before we jump into it, I would like to give thanks to my Golden Oscar patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And if you're interested in exclusive MWM content, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. If you're not quite interested in becoming a patron, but you still want to support the channel, please consider buying a movie ticket. All movie ticket donations are being used not only to support the channel, but also our new editor, Zach. So if that's something that you might be interested in, please head on over to www.buymeacoffee.com/Mia Tiffany. And that link is down in the description box. And speaking of our new editor, guys, I always do this every video at this point, but I really do just want to give thanks to Zach. He has been such a huge help in getting these videos out to you in a timely manner. So I have provided his YouTube channel, Zank Films, as well as his social media down in the description. Please give him some love, give him some thanks. Thank you so much, Zach. And today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. And these days, it seems like the world is getting darker and scarier, and that can feel especially overwhelming without someone to talk to. Negative intrusive thoughts can feel like a weight holding you down, and sometimes it feels like you're stuck. Believe me, I understand. But luckily, there are people like the experienced therapists at BetterHelp to help you out of those dark places. BetterHelp is an online therapy service that is tailored to your specific needs and ready to assist you via video, phone, or even live chat. So if you feel more comfortable off camera, BetterHelp provides you with those alternative options. And not to mention the broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that might not be available in your area. It's super simple to get started. Simply fill out the questionnaire, then get matched with a therapist, in most cases, just under 48 hours. BetterHelp also allows you to exchange unlimited messages between you and your therapist. In my own experience, I found the questionnaire to be so helpful in accommodating my specific needs. This helped me feel more comfortable speaking to a therapist on specific issues that I had, knowing that they had similar experiences and perspectives in that specific area of need. So, if you would like to join the 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist, then I encourage you to do so by clicking on the link down below, www.betterhelp, that's BETTERHELP.com/Mia Tiffany for 10% off of your first month. The world may feel very scary right now, but seeking therapy doesn't have to feel that way. Try BetterHelp today. It Happened on Fifth Avenue was released in 1947, directed by Roy Del Ruth, starring Don DeFore, Anne Harding, Charles Ruggles, Victor Moore, and Gail Storm, with other notable performances by Grant Mitchell, Edward Brophy, Alan Hale Jr., and Dorothea Kent. All right, everyone, at this point, we are going to get into some historical background. For those of you who want to jump right onto the film reaction, go for it. But for those of you who want to stay, we're going to get right into it. It Happened on Fifth Avenue was a project written for the screen by Herbert Clyde Lewis and Frederick Stefani. Originally, Frank Capra acquired the rights to the project with every intention of directing it, but he later parted with it and sold it to Allied Artists, which was a subsidiary of Monogram Pictures. Now, Monogram Pictures at the time was known for making B-lister movies. Monogram Pictures had established Allied Artists with the intentions of making high-budgeted pictures, and It Happened on Fifth Avenue was meant to be their first big-budgeted film. After casting was completed, filming began in August of 1946 and wrapped in October of 1946. Now, due to the holiday themes, it was a no-brainer that this film was set to have a Christmas release date, but for whatever reason, they held the release date until Easter of 47. Despite the unusual release date, It Happened on Fifth Avenue was a commercial success for Monogram Pictures via Allied Artists. I feel like I've said Monogram Pictures like 70,000 times already. This film would go on to be nominated for 1 Oscar at the Academy Awards for Best Writing Original Story, but unfortunately it was won out by Miracle on 34th Street, which we have seen on the channel. Alright everyone, now on to some interesting facts. Many people believed that the themes of It Happened on Fifth Avenue was a perfect match for Frank Capra's directing style. None more so than actress Gail Storm. She was very eager to work with Capra and was quite disappointed when she learned that Roy Del Ruth was set to direct the picture. Storm was not only an accomplished actress, but she was also a well-established singer and dancer, and was so excited to be performing her own vocals on the songs featured in this film. Unfortunately though, to her dismay, Ruth forbade her from singing and insisted that she would lip sync to another's voice after rehearsing for so long on the film's songs. Storm would later remark her devastation in her memoirs, saying, quote, "I couldn't believe it. I thought that maybe the director didn't know I'd been singing and dancing in films, and that if I spoke to him, he'd let me do my own numbers. Well, I asked him and he said no. I asked him if I could do some of my musicals. He said no. I asked him if I could sing for him. He said no. His theory was that if you were a dancer, you didn't sing. If you were a singer, you didn't dance. And if you were an actor, you didn't sing or dance. It was humiliating." End quote. Now, with that being said, this is my first time watching It Happened on Fifth Avenue, and I am so excited to get into it. But before we do, guys, y'all know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. Alright everyone, it is time to grab your holiday snacks and your holiday drinks, and let's get in to It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Oh, I just noticed that this background is actually, it's a drawing. I think that's awesome. It's a very elaborate, very beautiful drawing. Look at the little puppy. So cute.
That is the townhouse of the great industrial wizard, Michael J. O'Connor, the second richest man in the world.
Even in black and white, it's so beautiful. It's still so beautiful. Like, black and white does not hinder this structure at all. This little, like, human doggy door. That's kind of cool. Or maybe just an open shutter in the fence. Down into the sewer he goes. Oh, be careful. I like that this is kind of done in non-verbals. Like, we did have dialogue, right? Because the tour guide was talking about the mansions, but there's been no, like, dialogue in terms of the movie dialogue. Oh, that's stunning. Oh, that is just so stunning. They even have a grandfather clock. I heard that those are incredibly expensive, especially in upkeep. Like, if you have a grandfather clock, like, you have money. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So that when someone opens it, it looks like no one's there. That's smart. Now he's sort of just squatting in this mansion.
Come on, let's go up and clean up a bit.
So he's been there before. Now, I wonder if this, well, I don't think that this is his home. I think he just squats here frequently.
Is everything out?
Everything but the tenant in 4G. He refuses to be evicted.
Refuses?
He said if an 80-story building goes up, he's going up with it.
He's going up with it. He's like, you're taking me with you, buddy.
I refuse to be evicted because a wealthy Croesus named Michael O'Connor wishes to perpetuate his name with an 80-story steel monument.
You stand your ground, buddy.
All right, boys. Take him out.
Wow. Put some pants on, buddy. Get out of the building.
I captured these handcuffs from a Japanese MP. Little did I know that this souvenir of war would become the instrument of resisting tyranny. Let's see you move me now.
It's like, we'll just take the bed with you on it.
Just because I'm in bed is no sign I'm taking his lying down. Michael O'Connor is an octopus. A human.
Oh, I knew he was gonna hit his head. Oh my god. And now he's just sitting there on the streets. Poor thing. I feel like at least they should have provided some, like, shelter for the people that were losing their homes in that building. At the very least. Is it raining? Does it rain?
Come on, up.
Why don't you keep him on a leash?
He's not afraid I'll run away. Say, you better go home and change. Where do you live?
Right here. Draw up a chair and sit down.
I like the comedy of how he's performing.
Terrible thing, isn't it? The housing problem. Care to be my guest for the night? I'd be delighted to have you.
Thanks, anyway.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. As it happens, I live alone.
I wonder why they decided to use a fan in this scene. I just feel like it is a little distracting because the dog is like being blown by the wind. I'm like, I don't know if it was necessary, but you know, maybe just an artistic style or choice.
Do you always?
Only when the house is boarded up.
Yeah, I don't think that that's his house. I think he's just squatting there, but he's like using the clothes of the people whose house it is. That's what I'm assuming. Or maybe he's just a really eccentric billionaire. I don't know.
Michael O'Connor.
The great Michael O'Connor in person. I've always wanted to see a walking cash register.
No,
Listen, Moneybag.
Oh, he's the guy that's building the 80-story office building.
I am not Mr. O'Connor. My name is McKeever. Let us say that I'm a guest of Mr. O'Connor.
Oh, gee. A guest?
Where's O'Connor?
In Virginia, Bubbling Springs.
So he's literally just living in his house while he's gone. Oh my god.
This is the main terminal of our newest and greatest venture. Vast quantities of industrial cargo can be moved by air as rapidly as present land and water transportation.
Wow. As well as boats, too?
Where are you going to get sufficient property?
Well, believe it or not, gentlemen, we're getting it from the government.
Government. He said that entire word. All syllables.
The government owns Camp Kilson. It's to be sold 1 month from today.
There's a long-distance call from your daughter's school, sir.
Mull over that project for a moment, gentlemen. I'll be right with you.
Yeah, I feel like that would be quite an ambitious undertaking, but it could also provide a lot of jobs, you know, for people.
Yes, this is Mr. O'Connor.
Trudy was missing from class this morning. I'm terribly afraid she's run away, Mr. O'Connor.
Well, I don't understand this.
I feel like he's a loving man. He's just a hardworking man. I don't feel like he's one of those billionaires that are just like, you know, cold and greedy.
Do you suppose she's gone to her mother?
Well, I have no idea, but I doubt it.
Phone our legal department in New York. I want the best detective agency they can get. Keep in constant touch with me till they find her.
I wonder if he's worried or if he just wants to, like, put her back where she was originally, you know?
Hey, Mac!
Oh, that means somebody came into the house. Oh, it's her. The daughter that ran away. The fact that she ran so quickly up the stairs in heels in the dark, that's a freaking skill, bro. I would have fallen flat on my face. What is she doing? Oh, maybe she's taking some of her clothes to run away. Imagine being in a dark mansion alone and then seeing two men looking back at you. I'd be freaking out.
Well, you've got pretty good taste, haven't you? Come on, shed that mink.
Who are you?
A fur trapper. Come on, get.
Get your hands off me.
I don't think he realizes.
I'm afraid we're in no position to let her call the police.
She is a resident of this mansion.
Aren't you a guest of O'Connor?
Yes, except that Mr. O'Connor doesn't know about it.
You live here without permission?
The fact that Mr. O'Connor has not noticed that his house has been lived in for what? That's like 4 months, November, December, January, February, March, for 4 months? How does he not notice that? Like, are you so into your work that you don't realize that you're literally have people, like someone squatting in your mansion? I don't know, just me.
We've decided
Please
that...
don't call the police. I know I shouldn't have broken in, but I'm applying for a job tomorrow and I needed a coat, so...
That's a fine excuse.
That's a fine excuse.
Young lady, don't you know there's a law against breaking into other people's homes?
I do, but...
He's like, you're one to talk. It's the classic Disney princess feint.
Here.
What is this joke with them drinking the water instead of giving it to her, you know, the person that fainted? That's the second time we've seen this.
Where do you live?
In Dubuque, with my 13 brothers and sisters.
13 brothers and sisters. My goodness. God bless your mother.
Here we go again.
Now, wait a minute. Get these dishes. Call them up. Hurry.
I like the gentleman who, like the first one that came to live in the house, the one that's been there for 3 winters. There's something really warm about him that I think transcends his character.
It's the Gates Patrol. They generally come around every night at 10.
Why do we have to hide in the icebox?
Oh.
I'm an interloper here.
I don't live
The
here.
same as you are.
Oh,
She's like, right, I'm an interloper here.
thanks.
Oh my. Thank you. Appreciate that.
But you must go back home.
Oh, please, no. I can't go back to him. It's my father. He's lazy and he beats us. I can't go back. Please don't send me.
Stay here, just for the night. But don't touch anything.
The literal comedy of him literally telling her, like, you can sleep in your own room, but you can't wear your own minx coat because it's too expensive. Like, there's something so comedic. I think that's so hilarious.
Whether we're near or apart, you're everywhere, darling.
I feel bad that she wasn't able to, like, sing her own songs or you do her own vocals, because I feel like it would look more natural for her to sing, obviously, the music. I don't know why he didn't let her do it.
Okay, we'll make it $30. You start tomorrow morning.
Margie, gee, it's swell to see you.
Same here.
What are you doing in New York?
Looking for a place to live.
Where are Hank and Whitey?
Oh, we've got a line on an apartment. They're upstairs now, working on the landlord.
Well, boys, what do you say?
Oh, yes, sir. We'll take it.
Oh, I've seen that actor before. He looks familiar.
You're looking great.
Say, you know, I got married since the last time I saw you.
I know. Met the family downstairs. Say, that's a swell-looking baby you rang up there, Hank.
We don't allow dogs or children.
Oh, man. Come on, dude.
I'm sorry, it's a rule of the house. We don't take children.
Bah humbug. Oh no, now they're all moving into the mansion.
Not in my 20 years of living as a guest in other people's homes have I ever been faced with a situation like this.
20 years of doing this? Wow, that's amazing.
Well,
Oh,
I
boy.
guess we can manage somehow.
Oh, gee, thanks
very much.
Hello, boy, Mac.
I do like the element of, you know, reassimilating into civilian life after the war and what that meant for... I know that was a big theme around this time, obviously because the war has just ended, but I like that this happens to be a holiday film on top of having that sort of mentality of like, how do we reassimilate? How do we come back to normal life and provide for our families and find a place to live and work and all that? So I do like that that's sort of incorporated into this story.
Well, I believe that people who require money should work for it. As for myself, I gave up working years ago. So I let other people work for it, and I enjoy it.
Just reap all the benefits. There's something... I love his character, but there is a sort of selfishness in that, I guess.
Yeah, but suppose you had a wife and a kid. Suppose you had to make dough.
It's like, but I don't, so...
Making money is simply a matter of analysis. Now, analyze the times. Figure out what people want most, then try to give it to them.
He's like, look at it from a different angle, different perspective.
Job and a place to live.
Vacant army barrack in hundreds of deserted army camps. Do any of you boys know Camp Kilson?
How do we know the government will sell the property?
Everyone. Has anyone a light?
Stunning dress. She's a little thing, too. Very petite. The way he's looking at her. Oh!
What are you dressed for?
I have a date.
Hey, be careful.
Oh, it's not loaded, see? Show me how you do it.
First, you place the butt of the gun firmly against the right shoulder.
Kind of want to see like when everything is revealed and she reveals that she's actually the daughter of Mr. O'Connor. Like I want to see that interaction. Hopefully they show it or like make a big show out of it.
Left hand well forward under the barrel, with the right forefinger firmly on the trigger.
I feel like that would hurt your shoulder with the backfire.
Tighter.
Oh, I thought it was unloaded. There had to be an innuendo there. There had to be.
Trudy.
Hello, Dad.
So this
What
is
school,
why I had to
Trudy?
come all the way to New York.
I'm not going back to finishing school.
I love the song playing behind the dialogue.
I'm in love.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Why, you're only 18.
He's like pish posh. If she's middle-aged, then I'm ancient.
Joe, drive to the house.
You can't do that.
Well, why?
Because I'm staying there, only they don't know that I'm me. Mr. McKeever and Jim.
Who the blazes are they?
The man who moves in when you move out.
She's just telling him, like, what? And she's so happy about it, too. I love it.
This is fantastic. Squatters living in my house. Joe, stop the car and pick up the nearest officer you can find.
Trudy!
He's just gonna allow this to happen, just to satisfy his daughter.
Trudy! Trudy!
Bye-bye. She's crafty.
Joe, drive to the Waldorf Towers and hurry.
Yes, ma'am.
I kind of like that car. It's like a sort of convertible, but like almost like a stagecoach still, kind of. I like it. We need more of these.
I'm too old to be chasing all over town after. What's troubling you, Trudy?
Dad, I'm terribly unhappy.
Well, why, dear?
Years ago when I was little. It's true, Dad. Everything was wonderful then because I had you and Mother separated, and I'd lie awake nights trying to figure it out.
So she's acting out because she wants attention from her father. I got you, boo. I feel that.
How long have you known this Jim?
All my life, it seems.
What do you want me to do?
Meet Jim.
Jim is not too far fond of your dad though. I like that there's sort of depth in Mr. O'Connor. Like he really loves his daughter, and I'm sure that probably the separation between him and his wife had an effect on him, and maybe that's why he's working harder than normal. So you kind of get that, even though that's more implied. But I love that they've really fleshed out his character. She has her dad sitting in the cold. Oh my God.
Oh, look at that poor man on the bench.
He looks so cold all the while.
Mr. McKeever, couldn't we invite him?
Invite him into his own house. God, the comedy, I love it.
What's your name?
Mike.
Like Michael.
How are you? Hi.
Standing face to face with Mr. O'Connor. This is so funny. He's like, what is going on in here?
Is this my home or a laundry?
You can't say that. Or a laundry. Oh my God.
You see, we're all one big happy family here.
It's like you're wearing my clothes too?
Mighty nice lounging robe you have there.
Maybe I'll let you wear it sometime.
I can't even believe it. Oh my God. The literal humor in this is so funny. The fact that he's just so like okay with going along with this is absurd, but it's so hilarious.
A complete model. Each barrack, when partitioned off, will house 12 families. 2 bedrooms, bath, living room, kitchen, for each.
Mike, Jim and Whitey are going to buy army barracks from the government and transform them into model houses.
I suggest they build a model poorhouse, too, so they can all move in when the idea fizzles.
I wonder if at the end of this, maybe they can kind of come together and work together, because obviously Michael O'Connor is in this industry of, you know, like, I think it's like architecture, I'd say. So what if they like come together at the end? That would be really cool. That would be Christmas miracle.
Trudy, don't forget the baby's milk.
Great little mother, isn't she?
Mother? Baby?
He thinks it's hers.
Baby!
He's like, Trudy, what have you been doing?
Trudy, I have just thought this all over. What's done is done. I consent to the marriage.
Dad, you will?
How did all this happen?
I think it happened in the icebox.
In the icebox?
Mr. McKeever was there, too.
What?
McKeever was there?
Oh my God. He must be mortified.
You say you love this fellow?
Very much.
Very well, then. If you're married, you're married. Congratulations.
We're not married.
He's like, you're not married and you have this?
I don't even know if he wants to marry me.
He's like, but you guys just created life together.
The chicken-hearted blackguard, I'll kill him. I'll kill him with my bare hands.
How did you like playing nursemaid?
I enjoyed every minute of it.
You thought it was your daughter's baby.
Pardon me, is that your baby?
Well, my husband has a half interest.
He was about to go and wring Jim's neck like, I'm about to mess you up, buddy. That's funny.
They're willing to sell the land, barracks and all, but they've had an offer of $150,000, and the property is to be sold in 10 days to the highest bidder.
Oh, man. I feel like O'Connor's gonna help them.
We'll offer them $160,000. If they accept, then is the time to worry about staying here tonight is against my better judgment. Now, I can't have you upstairs near the women and children. You'll have to sleep in the servants' room.
He's seething. He's like, this is my house. You don't realize who you're talking to. God, there's just... I love the comedy of that. That's so hilarious. Oh God, he's in the icebox. I hope he doesn't get locked in there.
Hello, Phillips. It's me. Did Farrow get back from Washington?
No, sir, Mr. O'Connor. He's flying in tomorrow morning.
Well, tell him I'll call him at the office. Wire Wickersham and tell him I'll take $6 million for that West Coast chain.
Oh my God, they're gonna know that it's him. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a case of, have you ever seen that Friends episode where Phoebe's like, they don't know we know they know, you know? I thought that's what that situation was gonna be. Dang, I wish that would have been so funny.
I know it's a great temptation, but you must control it.
Control what?
This playing at being a millionaire.
Maybe I am a millionaire.
Oh, with the meat cleaver? He can't even do work in his own home. I love how he's wearing a little, like... Oh my goodness.
Dad, are you awake?
Awake? How can anybody sleep in this bear trap?
I think the other thing that's really, like, the sort of social commentary behind the humor of this film, he's really getting a chance to see how people, you know, might be living, you know, just normal middle-class people are living in New York. So he kind of gets a little bit of that perspective. I think that there's sort of a deeper message there that this movie is trying to convey to the audience.
I control a dozen corporations, coal mines, steamships, railroads, but never in my whole life has anyone ever made a fool of me. I want all of these people out in 24 hours, or I'm having them arrested for vagrancy and trespassing.
Come on, Dad. I do love the consistency of Trudy's character. She has experienced loneliness, and she's experienced feeling like there's no one there to really have her back because her parents are never around. So that's why she sympathizes or even empathizes with these people who don't have a place to live. And that is her constant motivation. And I love that that's very consistent so far throughout this film.
I want to send a telegram, please, to Mrs. Mary O'Connor.
Oh, to Mama.
Dear Mother, please fly New York at once.
Ooh, Mama's coming to town and Mama don't play. I feel it.
I think it's awful of him, Mother. Those people haven't done a single thing but live in that big old vacant house.
Of course, darling, I haven't seen your father in 4 years.
The mother is beautiful, too. She's very youthful. And I feel like the mother has a way of softening the father's heart.
But I think I know just how to cope with this situation. Your household will have to make room for another guest.
Oh, Mama's moving in. Okay. It's like,
I must be dreaming.
what are you dreaming of?
Smells like slumgullion. Slumgullion.
Taste familiar? Hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Well, this is a surprise.
Still has an air of like power and resilience, you know, about her.
May I ask, what are you doing here?
Came to meet Jim. I found him to be
Extreme
everything Trudy said he was.
Oh, you've taken on a little weight since I last saw you. In the wrong places.
Oh my God. They're horrible to each other.
Imagine an 18-year-old girl wanting to marry this...
You married me when I was 17. You left me and married your money.
Nonsense.
Oh, see, he was never around.
Trudy is in love with a young man. Instead of admiring her for it, you're fighting her. Just as you've always battled anyone who wouldn't bend to your will.
I also really like that I originally thought that this film was going to be more centered around like a sole character and that character's story, but I like that this has kind of taken on a bit of an ensemble style of storytelling. I really like that we get to kind of sit with different characters throughout the film. I think that it adds a lot of dimension and it makes the film more dynamic. I think, and it's also just so much fun to watch each perspective, you know? This film really does talk a lot about perspective, and I really like that.
House isn't big enough for both of us.
Hey, what goes on in here? A new cook and already a fight in the kitchen? You know, you two should learn to get along together. Stew!
Stew! You're winning over my wife?
Whitey and Hank got a couple hundred of the boys together, and I went to see the Wheeler Construction Company today. They went for the idea in a big way. They may even put up the rest of the money we need.
He's like, the Wheeler Company? Hold on a second. How lucrative is this?
Do we still own an interest in Wheeler Construction? Good. There's a young man coming in there Friday named Jim Bullock. I want them to disregard the idea and offer him a job. Must be out of the country. He has to be a single man.
He's trying to drive them apart.
I wonder if the O'Connors were as happy in this house as we are.
They're the most snarled uppest people in the whole world. Michael O'Connor, a poor boy who became the second richest man in the world. Yeah, and is he happy? I should say not. He's a sourpuss with a sour stomach.
Wow.
Maybe his wife walked out on him.
If she's smart, she ran.
She chuckles. Poor guy, I feel bad.
They say she lives in a big house down at Palm Beach, trying not to admit she's a middle-aged woman.
She's like, how dare you? She's beautiful, though.
You see what I mean, Mike? When I lived here alone, what I ate was never missed. It looks as though you and I will have to go to work.
Go to work? Not a day in my life.
Neither you nor any man is going to make me do manual labor.
No manual labor, and yet he's a millionaire. I just love it. I just love it. And now he's shoveling snow.
Well, you're doing fine, Mike. You know, we're getting $1 an hour for this job.
He's not even working. He's just talking.
After we get this cleared off, I've arranged for another one. You know, I think I can help you.
Well, I wouldn't want you to exert yourself.
I know what. I'll get you a bigger shovel.
I'll get you a bigger shovel. I mean, he's the epitome of just, like, leisurely living at the expense of others. I love it.
What is
Now,
this?
now, wait a minute. Now, don't ask questions. Just answer them. Now, what about that young fellow?
Henderson has full instructions to offer him that job in Bolivia.
If he accepts, and there's no reason why he shouldn't, all of my troubles are over.
I don't think he's gonna accept it.
Mike, it did you good. You have color in your cheeks.
I'm sick. I'm dying.
I also love the chemistry between Mr. and Mrs. O'Connor. I think that they do very much act like a couple who might have had some tension, but they also obviously are very familiar with each other because they have been together, they have a child together. So there's a real like lived in chemistry between them. I don't know how they achieved that, but it really, you can see it, you know, throughout the film. I really like that.
How'd you make out?
They did offer me a job in Bolivia. $12,000 a year and all expenses.
When are you leaving?
Why would I want to go to Bolivia?
Fine climate, beautiful girls down there.
Not bad up here either.
Oh, he's in love with her. He's like, I am not giving up, man.
What is this big idea you think so important?
The government's selling and we're trying to buy it.
You mean Camp Kilson?
Go to the head of the class.
So he didn't realize that they were bidding. Okay, I didn't get that piece.
What are you using for money?
We've got 100,000 that we collected from our partners.
Yeah, but you bid up to 190,000.
We know it, but we'll get the dough.
It's like the hardworking Americans against like the tycoon Americans. And I do remember a conversation in the movie happening where I think Mr. O'Connor had kind of been a self-made millionaire, where he had kind of started from the bottom and worked his way up. So I think he has had that experience of kind of working towards something, I think. So I think that that's also an interesting angle as well to have in his character. Like he didn't just come from money, like he made his way up.
Mary! Mike, I must ask you, Mike, to return to your room at once. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Oh, I hope she starts falling back in love with him. I mean, they never stopped loving each other, but, you know.
Jim, if my name weren't Trudy Smith, would it matter?
Oh, Cookie. I don't know and I don't care what your name is. The minute I land a job, I'll give you a chance to change it.
Ooh! That was a good line. I liked that. I would have melted to the floor. Oh my God.
I hope I didn't give you the impression that I was opposed to a man and woman falling in love. No.
Look, she goes away because she knows she's feeling it too.
Of all the people who fall out of love, it's kind of nice to think of people like you falling in love.
Oh, she felt that a little too deeply. Mr. McKeever, he has some freaking wisdom. Oh my God.
Why don't you and Mary get married? Might make something of your life.
Like, why spend hundreds of dollars in couples therapy when you can just put yourself in a different environment with the two of you and just work it out in a very natural way? I don't know. That it sounds like it might work. It might not, but you never know. It's working for them.
Mary, listen to me. I love you very much. I've always loved you. There's never been another woman in my life but you.
That is so romantic. That's so romantic.
I never wanted that divorce.
I never wanted it either.
Oh.
Oh, yes, let's get remarried. I didn't realize they had a divorce. This is so wholesome. Like, I can't cry, have makeup on, dang it. That is so romantic. Oh, God. Oh, my God, the reveal.
All right, folks, that's enough of that. Saddle up your reindeer and let's gallop down
Get
to
out of here.
headquarters.
Who are you? McKeever is the name.
He is just no fear.
How long you been living here? Past 3 winters.
Yeah, come on. Let the family stay.
And this nice couple here is Mary and Mike, who are soon to be married.
Been married 22 years myself.
That's wonderful.
Now take my wife. Sits home night after night.
All alone on Christmas Eve.
Go to your wife. Enjoy Christmas.
Ask her to come on over.
Oh, wow. That's kind of actually really, like, wholesome. I'm not gonna lie.
She says she ain't got nothing to wear. Thanks for the invite anyway. We'll be running along.
Oh, well, I wish you could have come.
We've lost out. That barracks property's been sold to Michael J. O'Connor.
Oh, perfect. He can just give it to them. I think it's time to reveal. Maybe not yet.
When did you find out?
It was just a couple of days ago. I only did what I considered right from a business standpoint.
You haven't changed a bit.
Oh, that's gotta hurt
You
him
never
so
will.
much.
What are you planning on doing now?
In the morning, I've got to get out of the barracks and tell the gang the deal is off. I don't see how you can help any.
Oh, I think he can help plenty. In fact, I think he can fix the entire situation.
May I ask, what are all you men doing here? Who is that little creep?
Maybe it's O'Connor.
It's O'Connor.
Oh, no.
Who did that?
Oh, God. So then he can't tell him who he is.
I wonder if the musicians will know it down in Bolivia.
You're really going?
$12,000 a year is too much dough to pass up when you haven't got a job. I'll only be gone a year or so.
That's a long time.
Oh, they're having a disagreement.
All that stands between you and the top of the ladder is...
You can't climb that with an anchor around your neck.
So you think I'm an anchor?
Oh, no. And the music is getting louder and more aggravating. Oh. The vocals. Oh, my God. That was so annoying. I loved it.
Jim's leaving.
Where's he going?
To Bolivia for some company.
If you really love Jim, you marry him and go with him.
They only want single men.
Michael.
If I remember correctly, your father owns that company.
Call them and tell them no. And give him the barracks.
If you want to marry Jim, it's all right with me. I'll give him a job here.
Dad, can't you understand? He wants to stand on his own 2 feet. I'd rather he go anywhere than be one of your army of high-salaried yes men.
I think the best thing would be for Michael to give him the barracks and then have him, like, be the sort of the manager over the barracks.
Jim, you don't want to go to Bolivia. If you had a talk with Mr. O'Connor...
How are you going to talk with him?
Well, I have a friend who works in the O'Connor building. I asked Charlie to ask Mr. O'Connor for an appointment.
Oh my God, that's how he's gonna reveal himself, huh?
Charlie just phoned me and said that Mr. O'Connor would see you in 1 hour.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so much fun. I feel like we're watching an episode of, what's that one show where, like, the CEO, like, pretends to be a worker? I forgot what it's called. Help me in the comments. That's what I feel like we're watching.
Mr. O'Connor's expecting you.
It's like, yeah, we'll go right in. So all three took their hats off at the same time. It's business, baby. Here we go.
$2 million? You expect them to operate with pennies? Cable them $3 million more right away. Hello, boys.
What are you doing?
Mike! What are you doing behind O'Connor's desk?
Gentlemen.
He puts his hand over his mouth.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where's Mr. O'Connor? Mr. O'Connor!
Farrell, where are those papers of transfer?
Papers of transfer. This is such a great movie.
Before I transfer this barracks property, there's one thing you must do for me. Not one word of this to McKeever. As far as he is concerned, I'm still just a panhandler.
You guys are family, practically. Oh my God, he literally fainted.
To Mike. He certainly came through in a pinch.
To Mike. To Michael
Mike.
It's too bad we have to leave here. Our paths may never cross again. And I would like to feel that you're all my friends.
That is so, there's something so, like, heartfelt about the fact that they are this group of people who aren't going to be with each other for long, but they have this experience and they have this moment with each other that they can just have and just and cherish. And I think that that's something that we as the audience can kind of take away from. Like, people will come and go in your life, but it's the moments that you share with them that you really ought to cherish. I think that there's something really heartfelt about that.
I always come out the same way I go in. Everything is just as we found it.
Just as it was left. I feel so wholesome right now.
Trudy and I are going to be married.
Mike and I wish you'd come stay with us.
You have your own lives to lead, and I have a very nice place to go to down in Virginia, near Bubbling Springs, Mr. O'Connor's place.
His summer house.
When he comes back here, I go down there.
I love that so much.
That magnificent marble dwelling we are just passing is the Guggenhof Mansion.
Oh, I want him to know. I want him to find out.
You know, Mary, there are richer men than I.
There are richer men than I, but none more the happier.
Remind me to nail up the board in the back fence. He's coming through the front door next winter.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. No, I can't cry. That is so sweet. I have never cried on the channel, and I'm like, I feel the tears. That was such a good film. I wish we had an ending, a the end moment, but it didn't happen. But that's okay. That was so wholesome. What a Christmas film. Like, yes, I love that film so much. It had everything. It had a Christmas miracle. It had romance. It had togetherness and family. And of course, I always love the stories of, like, the sort of bah humbug, the Scrooge character, kind of his heart melting and you know, coming into this idea that there's, you can find happiness in life. You know, you don't have to be wrapped up in your money or wrapped up in your greed. You can find happiness in people, you know, and experience. That was so beautiful. I do see how this could have been a Frank Capra film. I see all of the elements, all the stylistic choices, but despite the fact that he didn't direct it, I still feel like it was so well directed. It definitely had that ensemble feel, and I feel like Del Ruth was really able to capture this sense of family amongst these drifters, you know, essentially. I think that that was so integral in the story, and it was just captured so perfectly. And that's also on the part of the acting. I think the acting was stellar. Specifically, I really loved the chemistry between Mr. and Mrs. O'Connor. You really felt their chemistry was really lived in. Like, they had experience, they had a backstory, and they allowed the audience to really feel that, so that when they fell back in love with each other, you felt that. You were right there with them. I was surprised because, like I said, I thought that this was going to be more about Trudy and her romance with Jim, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was so much more than that. And the movie left the audience, like, it was so satisfying at the end. Like, we know that Mr. McKeever is going to have a place to stay in the winter again, and he's kind of part of the family because he already kind of like uses the homes of Mr. O'Connor. So he's part of the family, so he's always going to be there. So there's always going to be this sense of togetherness throughout the year. And I really love that. I do wish that we had a reveal of Mr. O'Connor to Mr. McKeever, but I also like the fact that there wasn't a reveal, that, it's just sort of like Mr. McKeever has changed so much for Mr. O'Connor, and it doesn't need to be revealed. It's like, it's almost like it works just as it is, I think that was such a wholesome film. Y'all almost had me crying. I had some tears in my eyes. I didn't let them fall, though. We'll see if you guys can get me to cry on this channel. I don't know. But yes, thank you guys so much for recommending it. Thank you for watching this with me, and happy holidays to all of you. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to become an official MWMer, then please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to stay in the loop. If you would like to see this film's full reaction, you will find it on my Patreon. Patreon is also where I hold my bi-weekly MWM live watch parties, where every other Saturday night at 5 p.m. Arizona time, which is synced to Mountain Standard Time, we come together and we watch one classic film live via Zoom. If that holds any interest for you, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. In the next video, we are continuing with the holiday cheer of our MWM Christmas series by watching the film The Bishop's Wife. Now, I cannot express to you how excited I am to watch this because Cary Grant, first of all, okay? Also, this has been highly recommended on the channel, so I'm so happy that we finally get to watch it. If you have not seen The Bishop's Wife, then please check it out before watching the reaction. I have provided links of where I bought my physical copy, as well as where you can stream it online. If you have a recommendation for any classic Hollywood films, please reach out to me on social media, on Facebook and Twitter or X @movieswithmia, and on Instagram and TikTok @movieswithmia_. If social media is not your jam, fear not, I do have an email. My email is miawilliams642@gmail.com. And while you're online, why not check out my LetterBoxd account, where I have documentation of all of the films we've watched as well as the TV shows on the channel. It is under the handle @MammaMiaTiffany. And with that, that is the end of the video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure. Please stay safe and healthy this holiday season, and I'll see you, boo, in the next video. Bye, everyone. I want it to be known that I am wearing an undershirt under this, what is it called? I know what it's called. Cardigan? Under this cardigan, I am wearing an undershirt. But because of the positioning of the camera, it looks like I'm not. So I apologize to anyone who thinks that I'm not wearing an undershirt. I definitely am. It's just you might not be able to see it as we progress through this video. So apologies in advance. Of course, as soon as I turn on my camera, my dogs are like, you know what? This is the perfect time to bark. It's like they know. It's like a freaking sixth sense, I swear. All right, everyone, at this point, we are going to get into something a little bit again. Originally, director Fank. Whose name is Fank? Like what? It's Frank. There's an R there, Mia. Jeez. Originally, Frank Capra. I wanted to say Frank Capra. Like, that's horrible. What is my mind saying? What? Despite the unusual release date, it happened on 5th Avenue. TIFFANY. It's like I don't know what happened there. Let's try it again, okay. Unfortunately, though, to her dismay, Ruth forbade her from singing and insisted that she'd lip sync them. Lip sync. Yep. All right, now on to the outro, as usual. Oh, it's still going.